Yo, what's up, everybody? I got a quick video for you today. Hopefully, this will be helpful. So, I may have found a solution to a problem that's kind of been driving me nuts, especially over the last few days, and it has to do with running the imu-f or imufupdater tool for Helio. What I found is, and what I've heard from a lot of different people is, on some machines this just works fine, this tool, and on other machines it will just crash. It'll get to the point where it'll say, please connect your flight controller. You connect your flight controller, and then the window would just close. And I have some computers where it works fine. I had other computers where it wouldn't work. My friends' computers, it was some of them would work, some of it would just crash. So it really was like dependent system to system. So I went ahead and I installed a virtual machine on this computer where this tool wasn't working, and I was able to get it working in a virtual machine. And then a friend of mine installed a VM, and he couldn't get it working. So I was trying to figure out like where, what the root cause of this problem is, and I had kind of a clue that it was probably driver related. I went ahead and did something earlier today, and after I did that, the tool started working. And I followed these steps on a few different computers because, the problem with Helio that a lot of people have is, and I don't really think it's their fault, I think it's a Windows driver thing, is, either the imu-f updater tool won't run, or they have problems connecting to DFU mode or getting the board to be recognized in the bootloader mode. And there's also a third problem I have on some machines where the ImpulseRC driver tool will give you an error at the end of the thing that says like too many devices, even though I don't have any other devices connected. So I was kind of messing around with Device Manager today, and basically the only thing you're really going to need here is to make sure you have the ImpulseRC driver fixer tool, because at the end you may have to run that. I'll put a link in the description below, but you're going to open Device Manager here, and there's a number of ways to do that. You can right click on Start, and here's your Device Manager. Now the trick here is you need to go to View, and you need to show hidden devices, and what that's going to do is show devices that aren't currently connected. And there's two steps here. I don't know if you actually need to do them both, but I did them both and it works, and it didn't hurt anything to do both steps. So if you find that you may only need to do one part of this and that works for you, great, let me know in the comments below. But I did two, and so I'm going to show you what I did. The first thing I did was I went to Universal Serial Bus Devices, and right now you'll see there's one entry here for STM32 bootloader. When I first came in here, there were like 15 that said, 15 repeats. It said STM32 bootloader 15 different times. So I just right clicked on them and clicked uninstall. I did not check the delete the driver software box. I just hit uninstall, and I went ahead and did that for everyone in the list. So like I said, when I started there were 15, and then when I was done there were none. And then I went over to the ports, and you should have already the CP210X USB, this one here. Don't leave that one alone. I didn't do anything with that, but this STM or virtual COM port, I had like 15 of these. What I'm guessing happens over time is like you install different versions of Butterflight and Betaflight or something. Somehow these drivers get like duplicated. So I went ahead and right clicked on all of these entries and hit uninstall device. I did not check the box, and I hit uninstall until there were none. So once I did that, everything kind of started working. So if we open up Butterflight here, and let's see if you may or may not be able to connect when you plug in. Don't worry about that. That's what the ImpulseRC driver fixer tool is for. So let me plug a Helio board in here. Okay, and I did get a COM port that came up. So if your COM port comes up and you connect, great. If not, what you'd want to do is go ahead and run the ImpulseRC driver fixer tool. Pretty easy, just run it, and it'll take care of what it needs to take care of. Now, this is kind of cool because the imufupdater tool, which was not working before, I'll show you, works fine now. So plug in your flight controller, plugging in, connecting. Takes a second, and then boom. Before it would, right after this connecting part, it would crash. And that's the part where it's connecting to the COM port. So yeah, so delete all those entries in Device Manager. So this works fine. The other thing that this solved for me was I could never ever get these boards to go into bootloader mode correctly. Well, that still seems to be a problem. I probably need to run Impulse first, so let's try running Impulse first. And then after that, I should be able to go in and out of bootloader mode normally. All right, the driver fixer tool is done. So we should be in DFU mode already, which we are. Let's disconnect and reconnect in regular. And we'll go to the CLI and type in BL. And boom, it goes into DFU mode fine. So yeah, it kind of solved a couple of problems for me. The big one being getting the imufupdater to run. The second one being this, and the third one on another computer where Impulse would never work. I'd always get an error at the end. Now Impulse works on that computer as well. If that works for you, let me know. Tried this out on a couple of different computers, and it has solved the problem. All of these problems on both of those computers. Good luck. Hopefully this helps you out, and have a good one.